Hello, everyone, and welcome to Creative Writing 240, Intro to Creative Writing. We could even call it Creativity 101. That's what I would say. So I hope you're really going to enjoy this course. I'm Gwen Hart. I'm the professor of the course, and we have um, about half the classes online and half the classes face to face. So going to make videos each week for the online students, and you need to keep in mind that the face to face students are getting an hour and 15-minute course, in-person course on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm making you a video each week to catch you up on some things we're doing, give you the opportunity to get some more information and try out some of the exercises that we're doing. You really want to watch the videos. If you don't watch the videos, you won't know what's going on. You may be confused, and we don't want that. So this is your chance to get something with the course. You can watch it while you're getting ready in the morning. Find a time when you can watch them and kind of plan for it. We may have some due dates that are on Tuesdays and Thursdays because we're going to be sharing work as a class, and we will be sharing online some work so that you can get feedback from the face-to-face students and they can get feedback from you, and we really are going to operate as one class. So I just wanted to tell you that up front. I'm on our Canvas course. You can see the syllabus and a little bit about me at the very top of the page. And then if you're not familiar with Canvas, it is organized by modules. It's set up to be organized by modules. You'll see the modules tab on the left-hand side here. That's where you should be able to find everything for the course. Our weekly modules will open up week by week and you can access the material. So you can't do this course all in one day or one week. It is a 200 level college course, and it is a semester long course. It's not a self-paced course. We're going to be building on what we're learning. I'm going to be giving you feedback. You're going to be interacting with each other, and that's how the semester is going to go. So just give me a heads up on that. If you are in modules and you're not seeing something that you think should be there or something that you need for a week, please shoot me an email right away. I double check it. I try to make sure everything's there, but I am human and sometimes I do miss a checkbox or something, and then something's not available or a link no longer works or something like that. So the sooner I know about it, the sooner I can fix it for everyone. So I appreciate you letting me know if you see something that's not right. Um, Okay, so I have under week one, our poetry introduction, which you should have access to this first module, an overview for you, the online students. And so by the end of the day of Friday, you're going to watch this video. So you're already doing that. That's awesome. And then you're going to look at examples of found poetry on Canvas. I'm going to talk a little bit about found poetry, and then you have the pieces to access. And then you're going to post your own poem, found poem that you create, and we're going to talk about how to do that, to the discussion board. And then by the end of the day on Sunday, you're going to reply to two other people's found poems. So again, both the in-person and face-to-face people's poems will be on there. I'm also going to add one other thing. I'll go over one other thing. It's for next week on Tuesday. You're going to look at some one-sentence poems and write some comments about them. I'll add that to this overview, and I will go over that today in this video. So have a chance to get started on that too, if you'd like to. Okay, so let me go to back to my modules. And actually, I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to share a different screen with some found poem information. There it is. Okay, so found poems. What am I talking about? What are found poems? Found poems are built from a pre-existing text. So, for example, words cut out from magazines or junk mail, or words selected from a longer passage on a page. And we're going to see what that looks like here in a second. The reason why I wanted to start here this week in poetry is it's a really great place to start because you're using building blocks that already exist. You're not coming up with things completely from scratch. And I think that gives people it's really fun. It gives people a feeling of success right away, right with poetry. Sometimes the way we've been taught poetry in the past isn't super fun, and we are going to make it both fun and uh, practice some techniques, right, to get some good poems. So it's not just a random free for all, but it should be fun to use your creativity and use these techniques. So what I suggest that you do is try out several of the types of poems I'm going to introduce to you, and then you're going to submit your favorite one for feedback. which is what we call a workshop in creative writing. The first type of poem we're going to look at is called a ransom note poem. And it's called a ransom note poem because it uses words and phrases cut out from magazines, newspapers, junk mail, etc. And you have to physically do this. You have to physically have something that you don't mind cutting up and that you can paste together to make a ransom note poem. I had someone last term try to, they wrote a poem and then they used a font that made it look like it was, each letter was cut out. That's not what we're doing because that's not, the idea is to use be creative with the materials that you have on hand. The key to a creative ransom note poem is juxtaposition. So, juxtaposition is a fancy word for placing two things next to each other that strike some kind of spark. So, think about in a visual collage, for example, when you have different colors of pieces or tile that are put next to each other, they have a contrast, right? And that's what makes it interesting or can make a pattern. So, what you don't want in this ransom note poem is predictable text. So, for example, if you were writing a poem about Thanksgiving and you cut out all the words you could find that have to do with a typical American Thanksgiving, pumpkin pie, turkey, family, gratitude, grandma, right? Those things, like there's nothing interesting or surprising about that. It's totally predictable, right? So we don't want that. We want to surprise the reader and perhaps yourself to see what you can say. What can you say that you wouldn't necessarily have known was going to happen before you started doing this activity? You're discovering new meaning as you're going. That's what's cool about it. So you're aiming for new, unexpected combinations of words and phrases. Here's some examples. These are some real examples from people in my previous classes. This is from Drew. Support in Fantasyland. The Great Divide, weird country town, light the snake, inhale the slow burn. Taking mushrooms from the puppet master. The precious music of pain is under my skin. The gate of your findings is on air. Boy, I love that precious music of pain is under my skin. That is not something I think you would have written if you didn't have to piece together, right? These different words. So if you have a couple different things, if you have like a local newspaper and a piece of junk mail, like a couple different kinds of things, you can get some different words to join together. This is from Jeremiah. Wander wisely. Each step I take is down to earth. Backpacker rising above the universe, hopeful for ever increasing unity. A prayer, insecure, grateful, to restless to heaven. Hallucinogenic depression hides exhausted from people are the best they have to offer. Excited, loving, stressed, tied to volcanoes. It's hard to say which is more awe-inducing, fire and ice or the icy crunch of my tuna melt crunch wrap. I love the ending of this poem. The surprise of we're going from volcanoes and the geological phenomenon to lunch, the tuna melt crunch wrap. It's so surprising. It's humorous, right? It's great. So this is the kind of thing we're aiming for. This is from Jordan. You want my what? My sugar and spice and everything in between, strings attached to the bone, uncontrollable, epic love together, fill your comfort zone. So I like in here where she's questioning, right, some of these things. And I don't know that she would have gotten strings attached to the bone, without cutting these out from the magazine. This one is from John. Move myself out of the way. Okay. Easy to use. If you like smoky, if you like fruity, savor small victories. Friends like angels, jitterbug, fat and inches. First time's a charm. The magic, scientifically proven, a natural formula, your happy place. With bed, the way to bliss, the dirt, to easier is better, bud. This is not a home. This is also from Jordan. Warning, most difficult decisions are addictive. A dream is the easiest way to go wherever the road takes you. Freedom is what you want. I love that most difficult decisions are addictive. Again, that's so cool to think about. It's something that I wouldn't have thought of before, but then it really has me, right, pondering it. This is from, oh, this is from me. This is mine. Hammer your dreams. Love surprise. Mix, remix, pain and passion. Search for ET. Hint at results. Win for once. Win for real. I love that ET showed up in the middle of this. I had no idea what was going to happen, right? When I started cutting things out of magazines, but I love they're searching for ET. That's great. Okay, so that's one type of poem, ransom note poem. Second type of poem is a blackout or whiteout poem. Really, these are the same kind of poems. It's just the materials that you're using that's changing the name of it. So, blackout poem uses a black marker or various colors of marker. You can make it colorful. We'll see that in a second to mark out text. And the other one uses whiteout or white correction tape to mark out text. So, the idea is you have a piece of text and then you're choosing a path through that already existing text to make a new meaning. So it could be a newspaper article, piece of junk mail, a page from another text. I'm going to give you a resource where there are many, many free texts. They are texts for which the copyright has expired. You can take a page and do anything you want with it. And then the poet creates meaning by picking and choosing a path of the words down the page. And you can experiment with color and visual art as well. I know some people really get into this and do an awesome job. These poems can be done on a piece of paper or on the computer, and I have instructions in the module about creating a blackout poem with a Google Doc and an online text from the text repository I'm going to give you. This is from a high school student who was visiting um, MSUN, and this is their poem. She appeared an enlightened angel illuminated for the devil. And notice this person has the halo and the devil's tail, right? So they've also got some visual elements in there. You can see how you read down the page, right? The words that they've chosen. Here's another high school student. Lightning dazzled my eyes like a vast sheet of fire, yet the storm, so beautiful, hideous, the filthy demon I was forced to lean against, another flash, and disappeared. And it's got the eyeballs in here and the lightning flashes. Those were both pages from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but you see how they got really different poems out of it. So it's kind of cool to see what words you want to pick. This is also a high school student. Secret of the full moon, symbols of their marriage. And we've got the full moon and we've got the heart, right? So it's making a comparison between the moon and the marriage. That's cool. This is another high school student. It dazzled my eyes, appeared at once, so beautiful, yet terrific. I perceived humanity. No sooner he disappeared. So this is pure blackout, right? No art. And this is a blackout poem my student Talon did with the Google Doc. Companions change their nature to nothing but closed doors, smoke rising beside the most beautiful woman. Fortune has said, I am plenty. Accordingly, she left. I love how Fortune is plenty and then she leaves the speaker by herself. But you can see how this is done. If you do the Google Doc instructions, you can get something that looks like this. And this is what I did with Google Docs. I wanted to try it out and see how it works. So, luck is a buttercup or an apple tree or even a robin's nest. Sweet stuff one may find if instinct opens to astonishment. And notice here I took open and I took the S from some other word because I needed opens. So you have to use the words that are there, but you might get a little creative with the letters. So that's blackout poem. Okay. And I'm going to reshare my other screen here. Let's see. Okay, so we're back in our module. There's some more examples of ransom note poetry and blackout poetry. I'm just going to show you the Whiteout poems by Sarah J. Sloat. I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to show you. You can look at it on your own. But these are where she is using, and I believe she was using the original text is a Stephen King novel, and he had given her permission to use it. And you can see here she's actually, I think, cut out paper and put it on there so it's colorful. Here you can see it's got white out, right? So you can see where the uh how she did it. So yeah, it's from Misery, but from the novel Misery, but she's gotten all kinds of different things. So these are really beautiful and fun to look at. So I'm gonna let you check those out. I'm not gonna ruin them for you. I just wanted you to understand blackout, whiteout, really the same thing, but just two different methods for creating your poem. Okay, there's instructions for creating the blackout poems. It's Project Gutenberg. I'm just going to click it real quick. There are tons of, you could pick any of these. There are tons of books. You just open it up and you can just copy some text and paste it into your Google Doc. So you don't even have to know what the book is about because it doesn't matter. The idea is whatever words are there, right? Those are your words to pick from to make your blackout poem. So that resource is there. And then this is what you're doing. So by the end of the day, Friday, you're submitting one of your favorite piece. So either a ransom note poem or a blackout or whiteout poem. And then you're responding to two other people's by the end of the day, Sunday, saying, what do you think is most successful about this person's found poem? So as I was going through and reading some of those examples in the PowerPoint, right, I was remarking like volcano versus tuna crunch melt wrap. That's awesome, right? So where does it succeed in being surprising? If there's a visual element, like how does it work? Like the angel um halo and the devil's tail in the one poem. And what questions do you have about the poem? So if there's some aspect that's less clear than others, so like a line in the middle, the ending, a specific phrase, just identify that. You're just pointing it, you're not changing it or fixing it. You're just telling the poet where you were particularly excited and drawn to and where you maybe had a harder time understanding what was happening, right? And that's just really good feedback for them. It's kind of feedback we're going to start practicing giving each other. Okay, I also wanted to tell you what you're doing for Tuesday of week 2 is you're going to this archive. It's an online journal called One Sentence Poems. It contains big surprise. One sentence poems. Okay. So you're going to go on there, and then I'm asking you to use the search function. And what I've done is I've given everyone 5 words to search. It's going to come up with a list of poems, and then you're going to use those to find 3 poems that you admire, 3 that are interesting to you, and then start a new thread in the discussion board, title the thread with your name, copy and paste all 3 poems in there, and I want you to say, a sentence per poem about what is really cool to you about this poem. What do you really like? And be specific about it. What is it? Is it specific image? Is it something in the line break? Is it the how the title relates to the poem? Is there something in the ending of the poem? Like say where you see it and what is cool about it, right, to you. Now I'm going to show you really quickly what this looks like. Oh my gosh. Well, see, this is why I'm checking this. Okay. I'll fix this link. Something went awry with my link, but we'll find it. I know it exists. Here it is. Okay, so this is what it will look like once I fix it. Sorry about that. Actually, it should take you right to this page. This is what I'm trying to get people to. Okay. And you're going to use this little magnifying glass at the top of the page and put in your word. So like I gave the first person sky, and I'm just going to show you what happens when I put in sky. It's also giving me some people's names that end with SKY. That's fine. If that happens with your word, I just gave people different words so we would get a variety of poems to look at. Everyone wasn't looking at things at the beginning of a list. And you should also get some poems in here that, yeah, have the word sky in them. You need to click on the poem to open it up so you can actually see it and read it, okay? And yeah, that's what we need to do for next time. Okay, so I will fix the link. Sorry about that. But each person has words that they're going to be looking for, and you're going to post to that. That is all I have for you this week. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email at gwen.hart, H-A-R-T, at msun.edu. I'm really psyched to get creative with you this term. Thank you.